This is Sean Payton, head coach of the New Orleans Saints. What's with this Saints Happy Cast? This has to be the worst Saints podcast in the world. Ralph can't say anyone's name right. Andrew doesn't know football. Everyone has a hard time listening to Dave. And is Kevin even there tonight? The audio?
Yes, he is.
With this podcast, my God, the audio, it's painful.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour Podcast. We are live streaming as usual, but we have video for the second week in a row. Let's hope it doesn't crash and burn. The empty box is because Andrew is practicing tennis, or I don't know what the fuck he does in Charlottesville. Who knows? So Dave, Kevin, welcome. How is your Memorial Day weekend going so far? Have we lost Dave? Kevin, can you hear Dave?
Dave's audio is off.
Dave, unmute yourself.
I was muting myself. I was just saying that I have been having a fine weekend. I played golf today. Would like to do something tomorrow, hopefully. To celebrate.
All right, so here's the thing. We got to talk about first. We'll get to the non-important thing, like Sean Payton talking about Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston doing his workout and that sort of thing. But the Superdome needs a new sponsor. Mercedes-Benz is done with the Saints. They're going to sponsor the failure that is the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to focus all their attention on the Falcons, a.k.a. the team that blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. So they need a sponsor. I have mine ready to go. I think it's an amazing one, Kevin. If they say no to Spank Chat or whatever porn site offered them $15 million. Strip Chat, which is surprising. The amount of porn that I watch, I've never heard of that ever. I haven't seen an ad for that, so I have no idea what that is. And I'm not going to pretend like I don't watch Pornhub. But here's the thing. My sponsor is, it's not really national. It's kind of regional just to Texas, but I think they could branch out for the Saints. It's called Sea-Force Water. It's Chuck Norris infused water. And I think it'd be amazing.
What do you mean it's Chuck Norris infused? The water is infused with Chuck Norris? Is that what you're
maybe
saying?
his sweat. They have the commercial, and he pours the water on a beat-up truck, and it turns into a monster truck. So it's called Sea-Force Water. So the Chuck Norris jokes would just flow like the water that would be sponsoring the Dome, Kevin. So that was my suggestion for sponsoring the Dome. Sea-Force Water, a.k.a. Chuck Norris. You could have him do the Who Dat chant occasionally. He's really only like 2 feet tall, so that would be awkward probably. They'd probably need like a stand for him. But the Chuck Norris...
Chuck Norris has his own brand. This is not a joke. Chuck
No,
Norris has
Sea-Force
his own brand of
water. And
it's infused with Chuck Norris. That's what you just said.
Yeah, like that's the catch slogan. Like it's infused. It makes you Chuck Norris strong or some bullshit. I don't know. But you could do Chuck Norris jokes. You could do Walker Texas Ranger memes. Like Kevin, the well would never run dry on the jokes.
That's hilarious. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to say? It's a horrible idea, Ralph.
I know what Kevin wants. The Blue Chew Superdome. Blue Chew.
Actually, would Blue Chew be interested in that?
Maybe. You know, I love the Blue Chew ad so much, and it was the only thing that is more polarizing that we've ever done in this show is Message Board Wednesday with Hot Take Boudreaux and Florida Fire. People either love it or they fucking hate it, and mostly they hate it at like 70% to 30%. But I love the Blue Chew ad. Like, it made me giggle every time we fucking played that shit. So Kevin, your idea for a sponsor?
I think they should I think the Saints should essentially run the naming rights like a podcast, and every week it's a new name. So you could get the stamps.com Superdome. You could get the
MailChimp.
MailChimp Superdome. You could get the Article Superdome. What else we got? I'm trying to remember what are these other places that what's the meat box? The
Butcher Box.
Butcher Box.
Yeah.
The Butcher Box Dome. Do that.
Dollar Shave Club Dome every week. And they have the technology, right? They could switch out them signs, right? It's all video.
No, I mean, it would be, if in all seriousness, it would be really cool if they replaced the white top to the Superdome, if they made that like a digital screen, like it was like all different little tiny screens that made up one big screen, like they do the digital billboards. So you could just change out whatever was going to be on the top of the Superdome at any time you wanted. That would be sick. That's what they should do. They should fucking make the top of the Superdome one big digital screen. That would be awesome.
I like that idea. Dave, do you have a particular sponsorship idea? I think Kevin's was even better than mine.
You can't beat Wagner's Meat Superdome. I like that one. That was always my favorite.
And then every time they play, it could just be Sean Payton like holding up the meat of the week, and it could be like, "Worry about your meat."
That's right. Worry about your meat. And this week's meat is $12 a pound, New York strip, prime Angus, whatever.
Or they could. And on weeks that they don't have a sponsor, they could do like nostalgia. They could be like, this week, it's the K&B Superdome. It's the Superstore.
Dude, if you made the fucking roof completely digital, then that's it. You are so flexible as far as advertising is concerned. You could do whatever you want any day. Like, forget the light. Everybody's like freaks out about the lights on the side of the Superdome, like, oh, it's this color because of this special event or whatever. Like, blow your mind when you've got a full color graphic on the whole top of the Superdome. Make that happen.
Jason in the chat room says the Forever 28-3 Superdome.
You troll so hard.
Ubix Pie Superdome, yes. That's what I want. So, here's an interesting question that I was thinking about today. As look, I admit, Dave, you make fun of me because I'm online 25 hours a day, and it's true. I'm online way too much. But America is awash in conspiracy theories, from the right, from the left. You can pick any conspiracy theory you want about COVID, and they got it for you. Whether you're liberal, whether you're conservative, whether you're middle of the road, they got the conspiracy flavor for you. So I was thinking, Kevin, what would be a fun conspiracy to have the NFL? People think that the NFL did a fun conspiracy that could take root on social media that people would kind of sort of believe or want to believe, and it would be like the lead on PFT for like a week.
We've already got the conspiracy theory that the NFL hires and supports incompetent referees. We've already got that. I would say
that's not a conspiracy. That's just a fact.
True. Okay.
Oh, thanks.
We lost Dave's screen there for a minute. I would say Goodell intentionally released COVID-19 knowing that it would stop Drew Brees' final season with the New Orleans Saints.
Also,
Wow,
also a fact.
that's a good one.
Like
So that's what I'm gonna go with.
Like he went to Wuhan and like
Right.
got it himself.
He ate a pangolin.
Oh my god. This conspiracy topic was a bad idea because the text before the show about what was suitable is not, and yet we careened from that to eat a pangolin. This is a bad idea. Whoever thought of this topic was terrible. That was me. So Andrew, nice to join us. Are we
doing video or are we doing?
Yeah, we're doing
We're
video.
doing
We're looking at
video,
it right
buddy.
now.
You're
I
on.
don't see any of you guys.
Really?
I
We
Ralph.
see you. We see you.
Okay. Glad I see
So
you.
were you breaking like 9,000 Charlottesville laws and playing some 55-year-old woman on a tennis court somewhere?
No, actually, I was playing. I was doing this couples Zoom game. Well, we were on Zoom and we were playing a couples game, and so I couldn't just arrest that midstream. But I'll have you guys know that I was embarrassingly terrible at it.
Wait,
That
what?
sounds like the worst experience ever. A Zoom couples game.
Are you guys
Tennis?
familiar with this game? Like one team is red, one team is blue, and then you give like one-word hints, and you try to guess as many of the cards as you can.
No.
Cards
what
of
game is this?
Cards of Humanity.
No, it's not. It's not dirty like that. Anyway, it was yet another opportunity to showcase my stupidity. I did very, very poorly.
Were you just going?
Shut up and sit down, you big bald fuck.
Were you just yelling that
Yeah.
at people?
It's called horse paste.
Never heard of that.
That sounds like a really, really inappropriate website that you looked at work and you got fired.
Horse paste.
Horse. That is the worst fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. God, Juge, what you do on a Sunday night?
Yeah.
You should have just you would have been off. You would have been better off just lying to us and been like, I was playing tennis against a 55-year-old woman.
That was actually the lie. The truth is even worse than that.
So, the Saints made actual news, and me and Andrew touched on it Friday. And by the way, we realized we probably have a lot of new listeners because they found us through our interview with Connor Payton, Sean Payton's kid. That interview's awesome. The Mina Kimes interview's awesome. If this is the first time listening to us, subscribe, rate, review us. Thanks for joining us. Think about becoming a patron. $10. You get everything. You get a cup, the Crew to Taysom cup, the magnet, the koozie, access to everything. It's amazing. We got big plans for the 2020 season when it starts. Believe me. But me and Andrew talked about it on Friday. But we're going to talk about it in the big show. Sean Payton he was all in on Taysom, but he went on Kay Adams' Instagram live and sort of waffled, and this is what he said.
We think Taysom Hill is going to be a fantastic NFL quarterback, and yet most people have only been exposed to what we see him do in special teams or playing receiver or occasionally playing quarterback. But we've had a chance to see a lot more than that, so we're privy to that. Yeah. And we also think Jameis Winston is someone who just 4 years ago was the first pick of the NFL draft. Yeah. I was right behind him for the NFL. I watched his workout 5 yards away. Wow. And I think he's got, at age 26, a real bright future. And so we're in that quarterback business. And when that time comes, I think we just increase our chances by finding the right guy. Both of those players know that they're going to have to beat out competition. And they have different skill sets, and yet we're excited to work with both of them.
So I have a pipeline of Taysom Hill merch just ready to flood the market. I can't have Sean Payton waffling on this, Dave. This is nightmare scenario.
I'm annoyed, man. I'm PO'd. This goes completely against the rhetoric that we were getting back in February, March, April. Like they were pumping Taysom Hill. Sean Payton was pumping Taysom Hill. This is the next guy, next man up. He is the quarterback of the Saints. He is our next quarterback after Drew Brees. And at the time, I thought it was very bizarre. Like Sean Payton does not usually gush about players like this, and I thought that it was potentially maybe they're trying to build him up. Maybe they want somebody to fight on that on the tender, on the first round tender. Maybe the Saints really want to get a first round pick out of it. And now I feel like this Sean Payton is, like you said, you introduced this whole thing. He's waffling, man. This is not the Taysom Hill is our guy stuff that we heard just a month and a half ago. And that's fine. Like, I think Jameis Winston, again, when they signed Jameis Winston and after he got his LASIK surgery, I think he could potentially be a way better quarterback than we've ever seen. And so I think it's totally fair that that Jameis Winston gets his shot. But, this is they've totally waffled on this Taysom Hill.
Kevin, what am I going to do with these 100? Kevin, I got 150 Taiwanese Taysom Hill blow up doll lawn displays on the way. Should I be worried that they're not going to be useful?
Yeah.
You can sell them anyway. People will still buy them.
This is like what was it? What year was that? 2000. John Kerry. What year did John Kerry in the election? He was the
2004.
waffler. Yeah,
2004.
John Kerry. He was the waffler. This is it. Sean Payton is the fucking waffler. He's the fucking waffler. Does he love Taysom Hill or doesn't he? We don't know. We have no idea.
I think it's important to remember that the other guy in the building is Jameis Winston. We're not talking about Russell Wilson here. We're not talking about young Tom Brady. The odds are
talking about
squarely in favor of Jameis Winston doing Jameis Winston things. So, Ralph, you shouldn't be that worried.
I know.
But Jameis Winston is still more of your traditional quarterback, and Jameis Winston has a lot more in-game regular season experience, whether you like it or not, than Taysom Hill. And who's to say? Maybe they want to go with.
Yeah, you know what his
maybe they want to keep Taysom Hill.
It's been filled with sadness and turnovers.
Maybe they want to keep. He got LASIK. Maybe they want to keep Taysom Hill doing Taysom Hill things and not being your full-time quarterback. And so they want to go with, after Drew Brees, obviously they want to go with Jameis Winston as your main guy. But we're gonna keep peppering in Taysom, not only at quarterback but wide receiver, tight end, whatever.
Turnovers and sadness may or may not be a T-shirt in this podcast's future.
I mean, you saw him swinging the bat.
I know, and we're going to talk about that. Like, Kevin, is he going to hit 50 home runs for the Saints this year? What?
I think if he hits 40 home runs and bats 280, I think actually, if he hits 30 home runs and bats at least 280, we're all right.
What's his?
I mean, I don't get it. Like, he was doing dropbacks, right? He's going through the motions of taking the snap and dropping back 3 steps, 5 steps, whatever. But instead of just throwing a ball, he's swinging the bat. Like, just throw a ball. Like, why are you swinging a bat? You're going through the motion of dropping back in the pocket to throw the football, but instead of throwing the football, you're swinging a bat. I don't get that. Just throw the ball. Why are you doing something different? I don't know.
I think he should have dropped back and had like the Thigh Master that Suzanne Summers used to sell, and just have the Thigh Master, like, really go weird. If you're gonna do weird stuff working out, Andrew, really go weird. Like,
I don't even want to weigh in on this because I'm gonna be like the guy that throws cold water.
I know you're gonna be like Underhill wrote a thing today explaining it.
It's not that weird. It's not that weird to cross train. It's not that weird to open up your hips and loosen up and he's working on his hip flexors, and it's just getting torque. Swinging your bat is the same motion as throwing, and it's not that weird.
Okay, so why don't you just throw the ball then? If it's the same motion as throwing the ball, why aren't you just throwing the ball then? That's my point.
I mean, I'm just saying, when I was in college playing tennis, a lot of times we would warm up our rotator cuffs not by serving, but by doing short tosses with the football. So,
Kevin, I like this idea. I think next video for Winston, he should be in a canoe working on his footwork. And he can say, look, if my footwork is bad, the canoe tips over, so it's got to be perfect. So I'm for this. I think he needs to combine weird shit working out, and it can be our summer thing to laugh at Jameis Winston doing weird workout videos.
Send them to like Siberia and Russia, and they should do like the Rocky IV regimen. They're gonna like push logs and shit up on a snowy hill. All that kind of shit.
Hey, somebody in the chat room make that happen. I want Jameis Winston, his workouts set to Rocky IV montage music. Make that happen.
There's no easy way out.
No. Not easy way out.
There's no shortcut.
Not easy way out. That was the driving montage where Stallone was somehow downshifting in an automatic. It's got to be Hearts on Fire. That's what it is.
Hearts on fire.
When Jameis Winston was in the Crab Shack and when he was in the Uber, it's a really good thing he didn't have a baseball bat on either occasion. So, yeah.
The bat might be criminal practice. But here's the thing, and this was the title of the podcast to get the delicious YouTube clicks. And I'm going to say it. Taysom Hill, he's going to be the next Cam Newton. He's not going to be as good for as long because he's old and he might get hurt. But there's going to be, starting next year, for 2021 and 2022, we're going to get 2 years where Taysom Hill is going to be as good as peak Cam Newton. There, I said it, Andrew.
Well, first of all, I know our friend Jim Gleason is listening, friend of the show, and he said, "What do you mean, like a petulant child?" So he wasn't a big fan, I know, of that statement you made, Ralph. But I kind of feel like that could be his ceiling. When you just look at how Cam at his peak was fearless and not afraid to run people over, and I am a big LSU fan. I'm a big Saints fan, so I'm as big of a Cam hater as there is. No one enjoys throwing shade on Cam Newton more than I do. But I also have to be real about the fact that, and I'm just thinking back to the playoff game against Cam, where granted the Panthers ended up losing, but I didn't think the Panthers were a very good team at that point in that game. And he went full God mode. I'll just never forget how good he was in that game and just how terrifying Cam Newton can be when he's throwing the ball accurately. And now, with the running, I think that's always been kind of consistently amazing. And, what kind of weapon you have when it's 3rd and 2 and getting a first down is basically automatic because you can't stop the guy from getting 2 yards. So, that in of itself is huge because he moves the chains. But on top of that, the times that I've seen him throw the ball accurately, it feels like a cheat code. It's just impossible to stop. And that, when he's right, and it's not often that he's throwing the ball super accurately, but I'd say it comes and goes. But when he does that, I think he's one of the most terrifying quarterbacks I've ever seen. And so I actually, as much as I hate Cam Newton, I have to say Taysom Hill could be peak Cam Newton, at least on occasion. And that should be a ringing endorsement because that has the prospect of being terrifying for other teams.
Here's the thing with Taysom Hill, Kevin, that why obviously we want him to succeed post-Breeze because we want the Saints to keep winning, and it's funner when the Saints are winning. But I want Taysom Hill to succeed because there is a percentage of the national media, you can put it whoever you want, they fucking hate Cam Newton. And I mean, not Cam Newton, Taysom Hill. And they want him to fail, and they are going to bash him. But he is going to be so polarizing, I think. If Taysom Hill succeeds and the Saints are winning in 2021, he will take over First Take and ESPN and Twitter, where he'll be so freaking polarizing. And it'll be amazing because we'll get Saints news injected into our veins on ESPN and anywhere you want to do it. Sort of like, it'll be like a combination of Tim Tebow if Tim Tebow was better. Am I wrong to think that?
Okay, I don't know if I entirely. I mean, well, not entirely. I don't know if I agree with that, because who are these people that are really hating on Taysom Hill? Like, he's a backup right now, and even if he is the starter, why would the national media give a rat's ass about talking about Taysom Hill when the Saints have had a first ballot Hall of Famer, arguably an all-time great quarterback, fuck you, Otto Graham, under center for the last, 13 fucking years, and the national media can't see fit to talk about that motherfucker. So wait a second. You're going to tell me the Hall of Fame quarterback who guided a team to the Super Bowl, who set offensive records, who, depending on who you ask, is the greatest of all time. The national media won't talk about him, but they're going to talk about they're going to talk about the Storm and Mormon.
Yes, that's
who
exactly.
Can run and throw, and who may be like Cam Newton or a better version of Tim Tebow. They're not going to talk about him. They're not.
But they already do.
They won't talk about Taysom Hill unless he's the starter and unless the Saints are winning. And then if the Saints are winning, the talk is going to be, oh, well, we saw what happened with Tim Tebow. That kind of play will only get you so far.
Yeah, but they'll talk about it.
That's all it's going to end up being.
They can't.
They're not going to.
They can't resist it, though.
The national media is convinced that Taysom Hill doesn't work.
Right.
They're convinced that it's a analytical. The analytics nerds hate him. They hate him.
Yeah. Well, here's my point, Dave, is Kevin's right. Like, Drew Brees is amazing. He's been a top 2 or 3 quarterback all time. But the thing about Drew Brees is he's so perfect. It's like watching somebody hit a 7-iron 180 yards over and over and over and over again. Yes, it's perfect. It's amazing. But after a while, unless you're a Saints fan, you get kind of bored. Taysom Hill is going to be perfect for social media because he's going to be trucking dudes. He's going to be scrambling, making plays, making huge mistakes. He is tailor-made for the social media age, and he is going to dominate everything in 2021 as far as conversation, and people are going to hate him. That is my theory.
Right. That's not a question, so I don't know what you want me to say, but I will say, Kevin, a Storm and Mormon, that's the first time I've heard that. Is that a thing? I feel like that needs to be a thing.
I think
I've never heard anybody. I've never heard anybody calling that before.
A second. We need with a crew to Taysom Cup. We need a 3. We need the 3-cup collection like it's 1987, and you go to Burger King to get the Star Wars glasses. We need the crew to Taysom Cup, the Storm and Mormon, and one more, and you get all 3 cups if you certain patron level. I like that idea. Coming up. Hey, man.
Oh, wait. The Storm and Mormon was Sean Bradley.
Oh, okay.
Was it?
Oh
my God.
Can't use that one. No. Then I guess
you can repurpose it. Bradley was a failure. He didn't.
Sean Bradley ain't even playing anymore.
But I think the Cam Newton comparison is a good one. But with
Why
Cam.
why can't I compare him to? Why can't he compare? Let's compare him to Lamar Jackson? Why can't he be like Lamar Jackson?
Because I think he's bigger and he's gonna. Lamar Jackson doesn't run over
so he'll
dudes.
fucking mow people over even better than Lamar Jackson does.
Yeah.
Great. That's awesome.
Well, but here's the thing that I think is an interesting conversation is Cam Newton, Carolina cut him, and he hasn't signed with anybody. So there's a decent chance that I don't think he's going to retire, but there's a decent chance that he may not play this year. And I view Cam Newton as my all-time favorite Saints villain in that, like Andrew said, he was terrifying, but you love to hate him because he dressed weird. He did the thing with the towel. He moped when they lost. And he said hysterical, weird things that you couldn't understand after games. Like, he's my favorite all-time Saints villain, and I'm kind of going to miss him.
What would you do if the Saints signed him? What if the Saints had Drew Brees, Cam Newton, and Jameis Winston all in the same locker room?
I could get over it. I loved hating Cam Newton. I think Andrew would have an aneurysm if the Saints signed Cam Newton, though.
When you say your favorite villain, Ralph, you really mean like your most favorite to hate, right?
Yeah, like he was my favorite to because Matt Ryan. I can't remember anything he's ever said. I can't even remember any specific plays of him. I know he's really good, but he's boring as fuck. Cam Newton was terrifying. He annoyed you. You wanted to punch him in the face, and he was comedy gold after games with his outfits and his comments. Like, that makes football more fun. Matt Ryan.
The thing about Cam that infuriated me more than anything with him is that, for a long time, Carolina would win a lot of games. They'd be in the playoffs. They'd be in the mix, either winning the NFC South or, at least being competitive. And a lot of times it was the defense, right? It was Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, Josh Norman. Back in the day, their defense has declined since, and now Kuechly's retired, so you don't really know what their defense is going to look like. But Julius Peppers, they had some sick defenses, and what was the most frustrating is that you would watch these games that Carolina would win like 20-17, where Cam would play like dog shit for 3.5 quarters. And he would just kind of like, the defense was keeping him in the game, and they were down 17-13 because the defense was playing great, and their only touchdown was a pick six or something, right? And Cam's playing awful. He's done nothing all game. And then the game's on the line. There's 2 minutes left, and Cam goes down and scores.
You
and
just
so then
described
the
this.
media is like, oh my God, Cam Newton does it again. And it's like, he played terrible for 3.5 quarters, but it's just like he had that. And it sounds like I'm dogging him, but he had that moxie.
It's annoying.
Almost like, when the stakes were the highest, he's like, all right, I'm just gonna take over now.
You just described the Saints-Panthers game from 2013, the season finale.
I just described like 4 Saints-Panthers games.
But Kevin,
it was infuriating. It was infuriating because people would salivate all over Cam Newton for that stuff.
But Kevin, it brings up a great point. Like, he's my favorite all-time Saints villain. What other Saints villains do you think of? And the criteria can be whatever you make it. It can be player you hated or whatever.
Joey Galloway is
Joey. Mine. Steve Smith.
Oh, Steve Smith's a good one.
Done.
Steve Smith did it with 2 teams too. Didn't he torch the Saints on a Monday night with the Ravens?
Accurate.
So well. Jerry Glanville. I hated that fucking guy. Like,
for a while, the
Dion.
Saints killer was whoever they got rid of that then signed with him.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Bobby
Right.
Hebert.
Bobby Hebert, Morton Anderson.
Jake Delhomme.
Yep.
Wesley
who's the
Walls
Rams
is a good one. Sam Mills. Yeah.
Who was the Rams quarterback?
Mark Bulger.
You. Thank you, Mark Walden.
I want to say, Jim Haslett or somebody was saying that they were like, I wanted Brady instead of Bulger in 2000, but they didn't do it. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that nonsense.
I mean, Bulger was a pretty good pick.
He was. So, here's another thing, as we get into is there any in the chat room, guys? Is there any Saints villain that we're not thinking of, that we're missing over? Joe Montana, yeah, but I was like,
Browner, that was an inside job.
Is Flipper Anderson an answer that works? Because I think he just scored again.
Yeah, Flipper Anderson would be like, if you had a one-hit wonder against the Saints, like, he would be on the list. But the thing is, Jason, Joe Montana, like 90% of the people that listen to this podcast, when you say Joe Montana, you might as well be talking about Autogram. Like, Joe Montana hadn't played a fucking football game in 20 years, 25 years, So you try to keep it. Try to keep it within since 2000. I think is the cutoff date, right? When you go back to the topic here. But are there any recent villains that we're missing? Somebody said Mike Vick. I don't. Was he a villain?
Oh, Rondé Barber.
Oh, fuck, Rondé.
Yeah, that dude picked off Aaron Brooks every single time they played.
Yeah, Bill Vinovich, top of the fucking list.
He's on the Vinovich. He's just the Mount Rushmore is just four faces of him.
No, it's all the fucking officials that were right there to see that hit.
Him and his whole crew.
Here's an interesting question that somebody brought up on Twitter when we were talking about different things about tanking and that sort of thing. And I want everybody to answer, but I'll start with you, Kevin. It doesn't necessarily involve the Saints, because the Saints are trying to win a Super Bowl. It's Drew's last year. They've gone all in. But if you're a bad team, isn't 2020 the perfect time to fucking tank, because there won't be fans in the stadium? You don't have to worry about selling tickets. Like, if you were going to tank, this would be the perfect year to do it. You don't have fans, and you have a supposed franchise quarterback in Trevor Lawrence coming out. Like, wouldn't this be the beautiful, most perfect time to just go 0-16?
No.
No.
You have Andrew, Christopher, Breeze lining up under center.
No, not the Saints, but another team.
The last thing, as long as there is a breath in his body and his name is on a contract.
We're talking about other teams, Kevin.
Not the Saints.
I thought he was talking about the Saints.
No, I'm talking about like other teams.
My fucking mind there for a second.
No, I'm not talking about.
I thought Ralph lost his mind.
I am.
The Falcons can go 0-16. That'd be great.
I am drinking a beer out of a Gatorade.
Yeah, Falcons want to go 0-16. Great. They can go sign Surfer Boy, Trevor Lawrence. That's great. I don't give a shit. Trevor Lawrence. Listen, everybody's gonna. This happens every so often. Quarterbacks get hyped the fuck up by people. Oh, this guy has the potential to be a great, to have a total command of the position of quarterback in the National Football League and all this other kind of horse shit. They play for one fucking year. They get sacked a bunch. Their confidence is shot. Their body's wrecked. They play another year with the original team. Then they get traded to somebody else where they sit on the bench. And then they bounce around, and then they fucking wash out somewhere. They play a few years with some bottom feeder, and then that's all she fucking wrote. And then they wind up as a college football analyst in fucking Sheboygan, Michigan. That's what's gonna happen.
I think Kevin just described Blake Bortles' career.
Trubisky.
Yeah.
Like
Joe, the fucking Lions quarterback, Joey
Arrington.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold any second.
I have a soft spot for Joey Harrington, though, because he is almost single-handedly responsible for the Saints getting Reggie Bush. He completed like a 4th and 32 in 2005. The Lions went down, kicked a field goal, beat the Saints, and the Saints, instead of picking like 7th, they picked 2nd, and they got Reggie Bush. So I love Joey Harrington for that.
I'm pretty sure it was like 4th and 50.
I'm going to find that game right now. I'm going to find out.
I'm just telling you. It was ridiculous, and I can still remember
It
I
was
was
so good that the Saints signed him to be a 3rd-string quarterback.
I was celebrating at my parents' house. I'd flown back and my mom is like, "Why are you celebrating? The Saints just lost." I'm like, "Wins don't matter now. One, they need to lose so Hazard can get the fuck out of here. He needs to get up out of here. And second of all, we're a draft pick now. I want to pick number 1. Like, beating Detroit does nothing for me." So I was pumped. Like, they entertained me for 3 hours and then lost. It was beautiful.
Wait, so what are we looking at here? We're looking at the end of the game?
Yeah, like the final Lions drive.
4th and 17.
It felt like
like I said, 4th and 50.
It felt like.
And they converted that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that Megatron? No. Who did Joey Harrington throw to?
Fuck, let's see if I can find that. Doesn't say. Does not say.
You know, speaking of Lions receivers, another Saints killer was Golden Tate.
Oh, he was. He was a kid. He is on the short list of Saints killers, especially the last 10 years. There is no doubt about that.
Jim says we should have drafted A.J. Hawk instead of Bush.
Jim,
about that, I would have taken Bush.
Stop drinking Clorox. Get out of here with A.J. Hawk. A.J. Hawk snooze. That would have been so boring. He did have nice hair, though. Get out of here with that nonsense.
He kind of looked like Alex Anzalone, actually.
By the way, the new guy that the new linebacker, the Saints signed, he's got a vowel at the end of his name, his last name. Is he Italian? We have another.
Chickalo?
Yeah, do we have another Italian linebacker?
Wait, so if Anzalone gets injured, Chickalo can take over this? We can just slide it in.
What's going on? Somebody Google that. Somebody Google Chickalo's. I need to know what Chickalo's nationality it could be.
It could be anything. If Anzalone goes on IR, I think we move the Mario song to DeMario Davis.
Well, you've got.
I mean, DeMario Davis is totally Italian, right?
Yeah.
Do we still have Alonzo? We re-signed Alonzo, didn't we?
We do. Yeah. We still have Alonzo.
Yeah, so we've got Kiko. This Chickalo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gigolo. He's a jig. We're gonna call him Gigolo.
I think he's more of a defensive end in this defense.
I didn't realize that.
Not to insert real football talk into this podcast.
Either way, is he Italian?
Italian. Man, Andrew, it's May 24th or 5th.
I think he's probably about as Italian as Olive Garden, Dave.
He looks like Thomas Hardy from the movie Warrior. Just with long hair.
Man.
None of you were reacting. None of you fucking saw that movie. Nobody saw that movie.
No.
It was a great picture.
Well, Dave didn't see it. I can promise you that.
If you have Anzalone, Alonzo, and the new guy, I'm not going to butcher his name, Chick-fil-A guy, that's a gorgeous set of linebackers. They are good-looking guys. Like, I'm just saying.
So, Zach Bond, you're not feeling Zach Bond anymore?
I mean, he's one preseason sack away from me and Dave ordering 400 Bowling on the Bayou shirts. But he's got to make at least one play.
In preseason.
Just one play. So, hey, guys, before we get to people's question, I'd like to take a second and give a shout-out to the network that helps distribute our show, Armchair Media. Armchair is a collection of 50-plus podcasts, including ours, trying to localize sports world a little bit more. We've been with the team since, I don't know, since 2017, and have enjoyed growing our audience with them. Shout out Andrew Stevens. Starting June 1st, Bet Online is going to serve as the title sponsor for Armchair as well as our show. This will open up the possibility to develop merchandise lines as well as more live events like we did at Tracy's once we return to normalcy. In addition to Bet Online coming aboard, Armchair will now serve as the host network for the largest skateboarding podcast, The 9 Club, hosted by professional skaters Chris Roberts and Kelly Hart. The 9 Club talks every week about the biggest names in skating. Social media at 9 Club. Also, go to the Bird Rights. They have an amazing podcast about the contract for Josh Hart. He's my boy for the Pelicans. They better fucking re-sign that guy. He's like my second favorite Pelican besides Zion. Not going to play the Zion sound because I don't have it up. Oh, there it is.
The Pels got Zion, Jews. They got Zion. They got Zion. Oh, I've never been this happy. Oh, this is great. They got Zion.
So anyway, search Armchair Media and the Bird Rights and the Bird Calls wherever you get your podcast. It's awesome. Armchair Media. They're doing a great job. They're supporting us. It's amazing. So I asked for specific questions tonight. More ridiculous, the better. And Andrew, I believe the people have delivered in a big way. Oh, one thing we need to talk about before we get to the questions. Sean Payton, is it wise of him, Kevin, Tom Brady was terrible apparently in the charity golf thing today. Sean Payton was like, I'm liking this Florida Tom Brady. He tweeted that out. Was that wise of him to be just?
Yes. Good for him.
Yes. Sean Payton, ask me how many fucks Sean Payton gives.
Yeah.
How many fucks does Sean Payton give?
0! 0 fucks does Sean Payton give. He let his fucking collegiate-age son come on y'all's Shit Show Daily podcast to just shoot the shit and talk about whatever the fuck. He doesn't care about a goddamn thing right now. Sean Payton does not.
Hey, he just beat the Rona.
Sean Payton is. Do you think Sean Payton is afraid of Tom Brady? Sean Payton and Drew Brees eradicated Tom Brady on national television in prime time over a decade ago. And now Tom Brady is on the fucking Buccaneers? Do you think Sean Payton sweats that? Sean Payton struggles more on the toilet in the morning than he does worrying about Tom Brady.
Tough but fair, Andrew.
Kevin is in rare form tonight.
He is.
Wow.
That is rare form. I would make that a video card to promote the show, but his screaming might have made it inaudible. But we'll see. I'll give it a go this week. I got the headline. I'll make a card.
Kevin, did you have a Joe Bashi cocktail before coming on?
No. It was. I just had like a little bit of whiskey. That was it.
By
Mitch
a little
asked,
bit, he means a lot.
Dave, did the Saints re-sign Austin Carr just so Peyton can have a second supplier of COVID-19 antibodies to harvest and use to immunize the team, or was he internet trolling his own fan base?
Well, it was option C. He was signing Austin Carr to be the number 3 receiver on this team next year.
Man, you're really throwing your boy little Jordan Humphrey under the bus.
Jesus.
Jeez.
Well, I'm just saying.
I mean, I for one am really looking forward to Austin Carr having, 2/3 of the snaps at number 3 receiver this year, and the 3 catches for 21 yards that are going to be, part of the offense this year. I can't wait.
Kevin, more likely to occur. Austin Carr catches 5 passes in 2020, or Connor Payton comes back on the show for a second appearance.
Connor Payton's coming back on this show. Connor Payton will be in the rotation.
The over under for Austin Carr is 3.5 catches, I think.
He's a friend of the pod. Friend of the
Payton will
podcast.
have more appearances on this podcast than Austin Carr will have catches.
Oh, also, speaking of Connor, he did confirm on Twitter that everything about his Uncle Tom is true.
Everything.
He confirmed that.
Everything.
It's all true.
He can make you disappear.
See, that's the next get for you guys. Get the magician on the show.
Yeah. Hey, going back to the conspiracy thing, I feel like there needs to be a Tom Payton joke somewhere in there.
It does.
About, I don't know, witchcraft, voodoo, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, not going to work here anymore anyway. Hey, Mr. Mike.
Maybe, I don't know. But I feel like
He helps
it
make
is a
draft picks
lock
disappear.
that it's more likely that Connor comes back on than Austin Carr has even one catch this year for the Saints. If Austin Carr is catching passes,
Yeah, we're
the
in
receiving
trouble.
core got the Rona.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
Man,
We're in
you're
big
putting a
trouble.
lot of faith in Traquan Smith, Ralph.
I mean,
That's a lot of faith.
Did we keep Keith Kirkwood?
no, he's a Panther
No, he's
now.
a Panther.
Oh no, we're in trouble now. Well, we're in real trouble. He was our real number 3, and we're
So-
fucked.
Preston Ellis asks, filling out a 529 from my newborn. Any suggestions, tips? Preston, trucking school is a respectable job. College is for fancy pants know-it-alls. You don't need that. Just don't worry about college.
What does he
529.
want advice
just-
on? What account to put it in? Just they're all. It's all.
Hey,
Put it in an aggressive fund right now. I would
you
put
don't
it-
need to go to school to start a podcast.
No,
I mean, look at us.
no. Just stay away from
at us.
fucking
Look-
Bitcoin. That's
look
my
at us.
advice.
Me and Juge are both operating failing businesses thanks to coronavirus. Look at us. We're at the top of the fucking world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, number 2 in Malta. This podcast.
I'm
Just saying.
fixing to be homeless under a bridge. So
That's
getting
right.
a degree from Washington and Lee University isn't looking so swell.
That is the worst idea I've ever heard in my life, Tom.
Yes, it's horrible, this idea.
Pay $280,000 for a degree from Tulane.
Holy shit! Oh, Christ!
Good God.
Wait, 280?
Yeah, I would say that's about right. 70 grand a year.
What?
Woo.
No way.
God.
The tuition
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
30 a year.
No, what? No. Look it up. Go ahead.
For
I
280?
mean, now it's 70, but not when you went there.
When I went there, it was maybe 40.
Yeah.
What year? Give me a year.
99, I went. No, but look it up right now. It's probably 70 grand a year.
Yeah, they probably-
no.
For
College
280
tuition is
grand.
doubled or tripled in a lot of places.
Full-time basis for 2018, 2019, $72,296 for all
Yeah.
students, regardless of residency.
That's 280.
Wow.
That's 280.
Wow.
That's a $280,000 education right there.
Wow.
Whew. Whew. $280,000.
I mean, does the degree come with a career and a hand job? I mean, like what the fuck? 280.
280.
280.
Put that in perspective.
You went to Loyola, right?
Well, if you want the other, it doesn't have to be a hand job. It can be a diddle. Whatever a DJ scribble thingamabob, whatever floats.
An
your boat on
upsy
that.
downsy?
Doesn't have to be the upsy downsy. It can be the wiggity wiggity. It can be that. Whatever. You pay $280 for fucking college. You're entitled to that.
I mean, here's the thing, man.
For 200, you should be allowed to skip medical school for 280.
280. They ought to call you doctor for 280.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing.
Wait, how much was it per year? What did you say?
$72,296.
For 280, I could buy a castle with a moat in Paraland. I'm just saying.
Where's Paraland?
It's in Texas, man. It's where I live. I could have one of them compounds like them separatists or something, like a mountain compound. 280.
Ralph Davidians.
That's twice what I paid for my house. 280.
Ralph Davidians. Dave, you muted yourself.
Oh, I'm saying Ralph Koresh.
The ATF is going to come knocking on Ralph's door, and he'll surrender immediately.
Or they'll do one of those no-knock warrants, and I'll be dead. Either way.
They'll find Ralph hiding in the closet like
That's
Hillian Gonzalez. Don't hurt me, I have a bad arm.
No, that's exactly right.
My wife.
Trying to open the door with the bad arm. It'd be bad times. You see, people, this is why you subscribe and support this podcast, because we are serious football talk all year round. No, it's May, the end of May. May, June, early July, this podcast gets completely ridiculous. It's going to get more ridiculous because we have to decide on the bracket for the summer. Dave hates the bracket, but we will have the bracket challenge, and it will be.
Wait, Dave hates the bracket?
Yeah,
Dave. I think we should do 2 this year.
Oh my God, no. I hate the bracket.
He does.
Who doesn't like the bracket? Who doesn't want to wear the ribbon?
So, we're going to do it, but it's been ridiculous. We know we had a lot of new listeners tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe. Find us on YouTube, Saints Happy Hour, wherever you get your podcasts. Rate, review us, subscribe. We love you guys. Thanks for joining us, everybody, in the chat room. The video went good. That's 2 weeks in a row, Andrew. We're on a streak. So, for Dave, for Andrew, for Kevin, I'm Ralph. Until next week, the bar is closed.
Ralph Davidians.